Welcome to today's webinar, Nutrition and Application. We're excited to have you here. During our webinar, we'll explore practical ways to incorporate nutrition into everyday life, including smart grocery shopping strategies, simple and realistic tips for eating out, and easy ingredient swaps that can make a big difference in your overall health. Our goal is to provide you with tools you can start using right away to support healthier habits in a sustainable and enjoyable way. First up, let's take a closer look at how to navigate the grocery store. Think back to the last few times you visited different stores. What similarities did you notice? One of the most consistent patterns is the layout. Perishable items like dairy, meat, fresh fruits, vegetables, and bakery items are almost always arranged around the perimeter of the store. Meanwhile, non-perishable items or more processed foods tend to be located in the center aisles. Understanding this layout can help you make more intentional choices and build a healthier shopping routine. When people talk about shopping the perimeter of the grocery store, the idea isn't to avoid everything in the middle aisles entirely. Instead, the idea is to start in the areas where the freshest, least processed foods are typically located. The perimeter is where you'll usually find items closest to their natural state. Think colorful fruits and vegetables, fresh meat and seafood from the butcher, dairy and eggs, baked goods, and often even a portion of the frozen foods section. These types of foods tend to be minimally processed and generally contain fewer added ingredients such as extra sugar, fat, and sodium. Beginning here helps set the foundation for a well-balanced, nutrient-dense grocery trip. Now, the middle aisles sometimes get labeled as the danger zone because that's where many processed and ultra-processed products are found. These can include snacks, packaged desserts, sugary cereals, and convenience foods that often come with higher amounts of added salt, sugar, and unhealthy fats. While it's true that these items exist and should be chosen mindfully, the center aisles themselves are not the enemy. In fact, they're home to many nutritious, affordable, and long-lasting staples that can support a healthy eating pattern. This is where you'll find whole grains like brown rice, oats, and quinoa, nuts and seeds, canned or shelf-stable fruits and vegetables, and protein sources such as canned beans, lentils, tuna, salmon, and chicken. These foods can be incredibly helpful when you're working with a budget, limited time, or planning to stock a pantry. So instead of avoiding the middle aisles, think of your shopping strategy as being intentional. The perimeter provides your fresh basics and seasonal produce, while the center aisles help you fill in the gaps with nutritious additions that offer convenience and flexibility. When you know what to look for and what to be cautious about, you can confidently shop the entire store and build meals that are both healthy and budget-friendly. Let's take a moment to break down the different levels of processed foods in a simple and easy-to-understand way. Understanding these categories can help you make more informed choices without feeling like you have to avoid entire groups of foods. We'll start with unprocessed foods. These are foods in their most natural state. Nothing has been changed, removed, or added. They come straight from the garden, tree, field, or farm. Think of foods like raw fruits and vegetables, whole grains straight from the stalk, or fresh herbs. These foods are exactly as nature made them. Next, we have minimally processed foods. These foods are still very close to their natural form, but may have gone through small steps to make them safe, convenient, or longer lasting. This could include washing, chopping, drying, pasteurizing, or freezing. None of these processes significantly change the nutritional value of the food. They simply make it easier for us to use. Removing inedible parts like eggshells, orange peels, or fish bones also falls into this category. Minimally processed foods include items like eggs, milk, beans, fresh or frozen fruits and vegetables, dried herbs and spices, nuts and seeds, and fresh or frozen meat and seafood. These foods remain nutritious, whole, and nutrient-dense. Moving along the spectrum, we get to processed foods. These foods have been altered more noticeably, typically by adding ingredients such as salt, sugar, oils, or preservatives. The purpose is often to improve flavor, extend shelf life, or enhance texture. Processed foods are still recognizable as the original food like bread, cheese, or canned vegetables, but they usually include a short list of added ingredients. These types of foods can absolutely fit into a healthy eating pattern when chosen mindfully. At the far end of the spectrum are ultra-processed foods. These have undergone multiple processing steps and often contain a long list of added ingredients such as artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, stabilizers, and preservatives. Ultra-processed foods typically contain fewer nutrients and tend to be higher in added fat, sugar, and salt. They're designed to be convenient, shelf-stable, and hyper-palatable, which can make them easy to overeat. Examples include cookies, ice cream, candies, pastries, cakes, soft drinks, many sweetened dairy or fruit beverages, sugary cereals, snack bars, and prepackaged or ready-to-heat meals. To make this more practical, here's a quick food comparison. Plain Greek yogurt is considered minimally processed because it contains only a few simple ingredients and goes through basic steps like fermenting and straining. Packaged Greek yogurt with fresh fruit added would be considered processed, since the fruit mixture or sweetener is an added component. Flavored yogurt with artificial colors, flavors, and sweeteners falls into the ultra-processed category because it contains multiple added ingredients and fewer nutrients compared to its plain counterpart. Understanding these levels isn't about labeling foods as strictly good or bad. Instead, it's about increasing awareness and making choices that support your overall health while still allowing flexibility and balance in your diet. Shifting gears, let's talk about strategies for ordering takeout or eating at a restaurant. Making healthy choices doesn't mean giving up convenience or the enjoyment of dining out. It's really about building awareness and having a few simple tools in your back pocket so you can feel confident no matter where you're eating. Ordering takeout and enjoying meals at restaurants can absolutely be part of a healthy lifestyle. It's not about avoiding these experiences, but about having a few simple strategies to help you make mindful, balanced choices while still enjoying the foods you love. So, let's walk through some practical tips you can use the next time you're dining out. First, mindfulness plays a big role in how satisfied we feel after a meal. Simple techniques, like placing your fork down between bites or taking the time to chew slowly and intentionally, help you tune into your body signals. You can even try engaging at least 2 senses with each bite, such as noticing the aroma and texture, or the taste and temperature. These small actions help prevent overeating and increase your overall enjoyment. Next, My Plate is a great visual tool you can use even when eating out. Aim to pair at least 2 food groups when you're building a snack, and at least 3 when you're putting together a full meal. This helps ensure balance and keeps you fuller for longer. You can also promote balance by choosing something nutrient-dense to start, like a vegetable-based appetizer or a fiber-rich side dish. Beginning with foods rich in fiber, like salads, steamed vegetables, or broth-based soups, can help regulate appetite and support digestion. Another helpful approach is adjusting the preparation methods of your meal. Don't hesitate to ask for modifications, such as choosing grilled or baked chicken instead of fried, or requesting lower sodium options when available. Restaurants are often more flexible than people expect, and small changes can make a big difference nutritionally. Portion sizes at restaurants tend to be larger than what we might eat at home, so managing portions can help you stay in tune with your hunger and fullness cues. You can share an entree, ask for a to-go box right away so you can set aside part of your meal, or simply save leftovers to enjoy later. Sauces and condiments can add extra calories, sugar, and sodium, so ordering them on the side, or skipping them when possible, gives you more control over how much you use. And of course, staying hydrated is key. Drinking water with your meal not only helps digestion, but can also prevent mistaking thirst for hunger and supports overall wellness. Finally, consider adding a gentle activity afterward, like a 15-minute walk. Whether you're strolling around a new area or simply stretching your legs, it can aid digestion, reduce post-meal fatigue, and help you unwind. Have you tried any of these strategies in the past? And is there one on this list that you'd like to start incorporating into your restaurant routine? Lastly, let's wrap things up by exploring some fun, easy substitutions you can incorporate to boost nutrition, add flavor, and bring more balance to your day-to-day eating. These swaps aren't about restriction. They're about finding small changes that fit your lifestyle, support your health goals, and still keep your meals satisfying and enjoyable. Even one or two of these swaps can make a meaningful difference over time. Let's start with the traditional plate. Spaghetti pasta, beef meatballs, tomato sauce, often no vegetables, a sprinkle, maybe a heap, of Parmesan cheese, and a side of garlic bread. Delicious, yes, but nutritionally, we can improve it. This version tends to be high in refined carbohydrates and saturated fat while lacking fiber and vegetables. Now let's walk through a few simple swaps that shift this meal to a more nutrient-dense option without sacrificing satisfaction. Our first change is the pasta. Choosing a protein pasta, often made from chickpeas, lentils, or enhanced wheat, boosts protein and adds more fiber. Portion size is still key. Aim for one handful, which approximates one serving. Next, we swap traditional beef meatballs for turkey meatballs. Turkey offers a leaner protein source, reducing saturated fat while keeping flavor and texture familiar. Tomato sauce can be a hidden source of sodium. Choosing a low-sodium tomato sauce gives you more control. Then upgrading it is easy. Add onions and garlic for flavor, fiber, and phytonutrients. These small additions increase nutritional value and make the dish more aromatic and satisfying. Here's one of the most impactful changes: adding vegetables. We recommend one handful of broccoli. It adds fiber, vitamin C and K, and fills out the plate, which helps with satiety. You can steam it, roast it, or even mix it right into the pasta. Parmesan cheese can absolutely stay, but in a mindful portion. Aim for 1 to 2 tablespoons. This amount preserves the flavor punch without unintentionally doubling the calories. And finally, the garlic bread. Instead of removing it completely, which isn't realistic for many of us, we simply recommend keeping it to one palm-sized piece. This maintains balance in the meal. When you put these changes together, you're transforming a familiar dish into a more balanced meal. Higher in lean protein, richer in fiber, and more micronutrient dense, all while staying delicious and family-friendly. Next, let's take a look at another everyday meal many of us rely on: a simple sandwich. Sandwiches are quick, customizable, and convenient, but with a few thoughtful changes, they can also be more nutrient-dense and satisfying. Let's walk through how to elevate a typical sandwich into a more balanced, fiber-rich option. A standard sandwich might include refined white bread, mayonnaise, cheese, and a protein like turkey or ham. Often, vegetables are limited or missing altogether. The good news? This is one of the easiest meals to upgrade with minimal effort. Let's go ingredient by ingredient and highlight why each change makes the meal more nutritious. Start with the foundation, the bread. Swapping white bread for whole grain bread immediately increases fiber, which helps with satiety, digestion, and steady energy throughout the day. 2 slices of whole grain bread provide a more nutrient-dense base and contribute to a fuller, longer-lasting meal. Next up is the condiment. Instead of mayonnaise, which is high in calories and fat, we opt for mustard, a naturally low-calorie alternative that still provides flavor. Aim for 1 to 2 tablespoons. This small change reduces calorie density while keeping the sandwich enjoyable. For the protein, we use turkey, which is a lean protein option. Lean proteins help keep you full and support muscle maintenance without adding excess saturated fat. Swiss cheese stays in the mix, but it's chosen intentionally. Swiss is typically lower in sodium and fat compared to many other cheeses, making it a more balanced option if you want to keep cheese on your sandwich. Now let's talk vegetables. This is where your sandwich really levels up. Adding lettuce, tomato, cucumbers, and onions increases fiber and boosts micronutrients like vitamins A, C, and K. These also add texture and volume, helping the sandwich become more filling without adding many calories. Finally, let's upgrade the side. Instead of chips or cookies, choose apple slices, aiming for a fist-sized portion. Apples provide natural sweetness, fiber, and micronutrients, making them a nourishing complement to the sandwich. With all these swaps combined, we've elevated a basic sandwich meal into a balanced, high-fiber, micronutrient-rich option that supports sustained energy and fullness. And again, the flavor stays familiar and enjoyable. It's simply a smarter version of what many of us already eat. As we wrap up today's webinar, let's take a moment to review a few key takeaways you can start applying right away. Number 1. Shop the perimeter of the store. When you're grocery shopping, focus on the perimeter of the store. That's where you'll find foods in their freshest, least processed forms, produce lean proteins, dairy, and whole grains. These foods serve as the foundation for balanced meals and give you the flexibility to make the kinds of simple swaps we discussed today. Number 2. Dining out can be part of a healthy lifestyle. Remember, enjoying meals at restaurants is absolutely compatible with healthy eating. You don't have to avoid dining out. You just need a strategy. Whether it's choosing lean proteins, adding a vegetable, or being mindful of portion sizes, the same principles we use to upgrade spaghetti and meatballs or sandwiches apply when you're eating away from home. Number 3. Small ingredient swaps make a big impact. And finally, perhaps the biggest takeaway, you don't have to overhaul your entire diet to make progress. Swapping beef for turkey, white pasta for protein pasta, or mayo for mustard. These subtle shifts add up. Even adding 1 handful of vegetables or choosing a lower sodium cheese can significantly increase the nutritional value of a meal while keeping the taste and enjoyment intact. Today's examples showed how everyday foods, comfort classics like spaghetti and meatballs, or simple lunches like sandwiches, can be transformed with just a few intentional choices. That's the heart of sustainable, long-term healthy eating. We hope you enjoyed this webinar and thank you for attending.